Alrighty. Hello everybody. This is Kirusho here, and now, before we do begin, let us give a brief little review. In the last part, a number of things have happened. We had Deku. We also had Kara. Now, these two were trying to get Cal to visit Kandor. And Kal-El, he was talked into it. But that was because these two didn't really want to take no for an answer. Before Cal could give his answer, these two went flying away at super speed. And Clark, he was talked into it by Diana. These two are obviously very intrigued for Cal to see this place. Go there. It's a place full of other Kryptonians. He confided in her years ago that Duville Zod, he was happy to meet him. I mean, before they figured out he actually existed, the idea that Batman threw around, that Bruce threw around, another Kryptonian might be on Earth. I mean, Kal-El, he was so excited about it, so just happy and giddy. More of his people are here on Earth. But then there's this. He has so much to do, but there's still that urge in his mind, that thing telling him, go to Kandor, go to Kandor. And he did. Now, Kara and Deku, they introduced Cal to Allura. And obviously Allura, she remembers them talking about Cal. However, this is a different man than what she expected. She knows that Cal, he was, from what the look in his eyes does say, and on his face, through something that it is still affecting him. It's been eating him up inside. Now, Allura, she actually does try and talk to Cal. And Cal, he would try to talk back. And there actually is Diana. Right now, Diana, she does still somewhat sit there. A bit intrigued by what the two might be saying. Because she doesn't speak Kryptonian. Or, as it's actually called, for some reason, Kryptonese. I don't understand why it's just not called Kryptonian. Or the Kryptonian language. Or, well, I don't even know if Kryptonians have other languages on Krypton, so I think it could just be called Universal Tongue on that planet. It sounded a lot better of a name in my head. Anyways, now, little rant aside, because I figured that out recently. Now, right now, Allura and Clark do talk. And there actually is Deku and Kara. These two, they were actually able to figure out a few things. They went around the city greeting and talking to a few people, checking up to see how some of the people who helped them free Kandor are doing. And a lot of these people, they were actually a bit excited to see these two back. However, for a second, they had a bit of panic. Because did Brainiac put them back on that high shelf? Anyways, now, they were excited. And many of them, they actually were a bit intrigued to see this Superman guy they talked about. Now, Cal, he is somewhat put through the greetings of hello, 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 and all that. They have a bit of a party, a small little feast for their visitors. Because, well, Kandor, they're not too sure when they'll see them again, or when these two will finally place them on the ground somewhere in Larzer City and just go flying away. I mean, you gotta admit, one day it's gonna happen. And if it doesn't, then Kandor's just gonna be here. Now, right now, the Kandorians, they rub off a bit on Cal. Cal meets people, meets family, he meets just people who understand some of the things that he knows. He asks questions, and honestly, he has a bit of a good time. It's just so intriguing. And then Cal, he would discover one other thing as him, Allura, Deku, Diana, and Kara all do sit down for. Right now he does discover Kandorian drinks, or beverages. And whenever he does go to take a sip of his cup, he'll get a comment on it. That this tastes like him looking up, and seeing that Diana, she's drinking it. And Deku and Kara, the two are happily sipping their drinks. As right now there is over Deku, he would go to set down his cup and tell Cal. That is him saying something in Kryptonian, expressing to him. It's sort of a lot like, what's the proper thing? No, it's sort of like wine, but if it was made from a sort of not grape, but it's something that grows on a vine. It's so hard to express, but what they do is they use certain things like how Earth brews certain alcohols, and they apply it to this thing, and then you get this strange little liquid. Now, Cal does see the two. Right now, Kara, she just talk about it. Her going to bring up her glass, that she's going to have another cup. Because honestly, remembering this feeling, it is great. Besides, it feels nice to cut loose like this. Now, Cal, he does see it. And right now, Kara, she actually does want to stand up and grab a bottle. Her going to pour it into her glass. Before Deku, he actually going to ask Kara for the bottle. Her going to bring it back up and hand it off to Deku. Their hands touching as Deku, he'll go to grab the bottle and somewhat smile at Kara, as he will go to bring it up to his own glass. And Clark, he does see the way the two acted. That was very friendly of them. They're doing good. Maybe their time away did them good. They grew closer. At least they're not at odds. Not anymore. He sort of does remember that. He remembers they were a lot like children. They were children. Now, the smile is somewhat dropped from Cal's face, and Deku actually is going to look up, looking directly up towards Cal, who would go to look down at his drink as he does think about it. And Deku, he'll going to actually stand up, him going to fill Cal's glass, as right now Diana, she would look directly at him. And Deku would actually turn to Diana, expressing to her. Right now, Cal, they are all having a bit of a chat as family. And right now, what they're going to do is quite simple. They have a few ideas. They have seen how things are here. This is just one of the many Kryptonian restaurants. There are a few other places. I mean, besides, they're going to go stay at their old place. Now, Clark actually would somewhat hear about that. Their old place? Now, there actually is where Allura she would cut in, expressing to Cal. Honestly, today's been a very good day, and she's actually happy to have met him. He could stay over at her place, and his friend Diana could stay as well. Or they can actually set them up in their own little apartment. I mean, there are some places still nearby that they were built because of, well, they thought they'd have to build them, but apparently they never gained into use. So, if they wish to move into one of these places, they can. Now, Clark, he is a bit intrigued, and there actually is Diana, who Deku, he will go to say what Allura said to her. And Diana, she actually is a bit intrigued. Those two are living together. They lived together in Kandor? Interesting. Now, Deku and Kara, they will go back to their place. And Cal, he actually talked to Allura a little bit more. Him wanting to understand a few other things. His mother, his father. Wanting to understand a lot. Now, Diana, she actually doesn't want to stay by Cal's side. And Cal, he does hear a bit more about it. How his father was in life. And she even does talk about the Science Council. And Cal, well, he's not really interested in that. She does watch the way he does act. The way he does react. The way he reacted was a bit surprising to her. She told Cal, the Science Council, they were tyrants, ruthless, efficient, without mercy. They lobotomized people who disagree with them. They killed, they butchered, They used the Zods to enforce martial law on the entire planet. In the final days of Krypton, it was the Zods who followed their orders, who got the planet destroyed by the Council. The Council, they would have faced an entire Dark Age. Instead of banding together the entire planet, though, and uniting, embracing the darkness and finding new ways of power, they marched ahead. They kept the blindfolds on those soldiers. And those soldiers, they marched happily to the planet's destruction. If those men knew the truth, they wouldn't have done it. So she does was to ask, exactly what has Cal been doing on Earth? I mean, she's curious to know. He said that he wanted to better the world. So, if he could enlighten her. Now, Clark does start to talk with her. And right now he also does want to embrace this drink. Honestly, it's a bit nice. Refreshing? Refreshing's a good word. Now, there actually is the next day. Clark, he does wake up a little hangover. And he actually does find it to be a bit more exciting. He goes through a bit of a routine. And he actually will go to someone to shave his own face with a razor, finding it to be a bit funny. He's never used one of these, him actually going to move his face and his lip in a weird way, as he does want to cut the side of his mouth. Now, Clark will get a wince at that, him going to look at his face before going to actually turn. Him going to grab something to put it up to his face as he actually does take a second. Now, Clark will go to pull the towel off before he does try to use heat vision and find that it does not work here. Right. He did that 5 minutes ago. That's why he asked the neighbor for a razor. Okay, so let's just try this again. Now, Clark, he does go through it. And right now there actually was Diana, who she did actually relax on the couch and sleep there last night. Who she went to go get up and join Clark. And Clark, by the time he got a bit more physically active, Diana did see him. He was sitting down and eating. And he even did call over Duville and Kara. Now, we do actually have Deku and Kara. Right now the two, they're remembering a bit more of their training. Deku, he made her do it once. And she actually found it to be a little funny. Until she fell off of a building, but hey, that's what this training is for. Right now Kara, she's running across the rooftops. And she does have fun. As another actually is Deku, who does go to leap off of a tall building. And right now he does look directly down before looking back up. Right now his body is moving forwards, and he does feel his thoughts in slow motion. He needs to be careful. He needs to be ready. The moment he does get there, the moment his hands touch the ground, he needs to be ready to relax his body and roll. Be ready to do it. If he doesn't, he can break something. That'd be what I could just think. Him going to land, as you know, after he does go to push off of the ground, he'll go to turn his body. Him going to roll directly into the ground as he does stop. And right now he actually just won't lay there, smiling a bit, as Kara, she did get a jump as well. And this time, she doesn't get hurt. Now, right now she actually will come rolling into Deku. And Deku, we would talk about it. They're going to be a little bit late. But then again, racing here was fun. I know. Honestly, I miss this place. We're going to set up. Expressing. Being super is fun, but being human. I mean, Kryptonian, again. Just this feels a little better. But fighting supervillains is fun. Being powerful is fun. Kara, I get it. You do? Of course you do. No, I do. Honestly, without my powers, I feel better. Um, After me and Clark have breakfast, I want to talk to him a bit. Take him out to a place that I know, where I went to go train. Take him to a place where Clark can see a bit. So, so, you're gonna give him the tough love, or am I? I can do it. Trust me, I can. I can say things to him that you can't. I'm sure you could. Kara, I know. Okay, okay. Are you okay? No, I'm trying to. Sorry. I'm trying to open up to you, Kara, but I don't even know where to begin. Okay, just start somewhere. Right. I don't remember what city I was born in. I remember my father sent me away. I arrived on Earth. They raised me, fed me, mostly until they realized they didn't need to. They thought it would allow my growth in side. I'm sidetracking. Sorry. Not important. Anyways, Department K and Amanda Waller. They taught me everything I know. Some of the stuff I've taught you. And I honestly, I. This is so hard. I know. It's not fun, is it? It's a little funny. It's very funny. Okay, how about her bringing her hand up and patting him on the cheek, telling him, they talk about that later. How about that? Then, right now, they're gonna get up and walk down the stairs. Because Clark might not like it if they arrive on his balcony. Now, Deku doesn't understand. And right now, Clark, he would get the knock on his door. It's opening up as the two do walk in. And Cal, he does enjoy a bit of time with family. Now, there actually is Diana. Right now, she actually does enjoy breakfast. The food is definitely interesting, but hey, right now this is the happiest she's seen Clark in a minute. And Deku, he does tell Clark, as the two do clean up a bit and leave, that he wants to show Clark something. Show him a few things, actually. And Clark, he does understand. Now, Deku and Clark, the two do currently run through an area. And Clark, while he is struggling a bit to keep up, Deku, he does keep an even pace. Him actually running in place right now, as he does tell Clark that he really does need to learn not to rely on his powers. Clark, panting for air, as he would tell Duville. Him actually going to stomach go back upright and taking a breath. He is not having fun. He thought that he wanted to show him something. Getting a little lightheaded, Cal? I'm fine. Listen, what did you want to show me? Because, there was a few things I wanted to do today. Clark just thinking. Yeah, a few things. Okay, Cal. It's just around the corner. Think you can make it? Clark's smiling. And right now, Deku and Cal, the two, they do go running. And whenever Deku does show Clark the place he's talking about, Clark is a bit surprised. It looks like... no way. Now, the two do go walking in. And Deku, whenever he is greeted by a Zod, Clark he does see it. This looks like it used to be a police station? No. Military... no, it's like the Hall of Justice, but this is a headquarters. Now, Deku does go walking into an elevator, telling Clark, as he actually would do someone to tap on a crystal, that he would be correct. This being where the elevator just started to move down. And I'm telling Clark, this place used to be used for training by the military forces that protected Kandor. Kandor was a very popular training spot, and because of the military presence there, it was the safest. In fact, most military presences on Kandor, or at least on Krypton, they ensured safety for resources. So, him walking out of the small metal box, right here, him showing it off, is their gym. Now, Clarky does see it. It's definitely different. And right now Deku would tell him, as he would go to walk over to a place. It's not really that bad. Him going to bring his hands down and grab onto something. Going to put it over his hand. Telling Cal, as he just turned to him, tossing him something. And Clark actually does go to grab onto it. I'm a bit surprised when he does look down and see fingerless boxing gloves. Now, Clark looks at this very confused, and Deku would tell him, bringing his hands up and going to pull off his shirt. Right now, the two are going to have a bit of a talk. He wants to actually hear what Cal has to say. Cal had a good night's rest, and he had a good drink. Something, he's fairly certain, did Cal a lot of good for his mind. So, he wants to hear what Cal has to say. About Earth, about everything. And right now he does want to start with an opening statement. Deku bring his hands up, telling Cal that he's going to talk about Lois. He's not going to hold back. Now, Clark actually would feel a bit annoyed. This was not what this was supposed to be. This was supposed to be a vacation from his problems. A way to get away from the regime for a second and clear his head. And Duville's trying to turn it into a fucking... Now, Clark does stare directly at Duville. And Deku does still stand there, with his hands up. And Clark does go to stare back down at the gloves. Duville is trying to talk to Clark the only way he really knows how to, with fist. Clark, he may have a problem showing emotion. A problem showing things right now. But he used to be better with them. But the emotions he's dealing with right now, they weren't there before. They didn't cloud his judgment, cloud his mind. And right now, Clark, he would go to do something that Deku, he didn't expect. He expected Clark to drop those gloves and walk out of this building. However, right now, Clark, he puts them on. And Deku, he would go to actually watch Cal, who right now, he would go to somewhat copy Deku's stance and go to talk to him. So what are they going to do here? Right now, Deku going to throw out his fist, and Clark, he will go to dodge. Now, right now, the two do go through a few things. Deku expressed to Cal, as he will go to occasionally jump backwards and try to let Cal attack him. About what's going on. Now, the two do fight a bit the whole time. Deku, he wants to know what Cal has planned, what he's going to do with Batman and the Insurgency. And Clark expresses he wants to lock them up for trying to stop him. They think that he's gone too far. They think that he's gone crazy. He knows it. Yes, he understands that there have been some issues and problems, but Bruce was supposed to be by his side. Bruce was supposed to help him. And Deku, he does look at Bruce, or not Bruce, he does look at Clark, express to him, Bruce has tried to help him numerous times, but he does have to remember, the reason why Bruce is so driven by all this is because he doesn't think that Clark, he's in the right state of mind to think. Clark throwing out a powerful fist, and Deku, he does take the swing across the face. Looking back at Clark, bringing his hand out and smashing it directly into his gut. Clark falling forwards a bit winded. Deku telling him as Clark, he does sit on his hands and knees, trying to hold down breakfast. Deku telling Clark, he has to remember, Bruce Wayne is no, man foreign to laws. Him and Bruce do seem to have that in common. All of them have all lost something. Right now, Bruce, He lost his mother and father as a boy, watched them die. Clark, he watched his wife and child die. It's a bit of a twist on what happened to Bruce Wayne. Clark needs to understand that. Clark trying to throw his fist upwards to uppercut Deku. Deku stepping backwards and expressing to Clark. He needs to remember, Bruce Wayne, not only did he lose that, family, he lost sons. He lost Jason Todd. Deku still at least backing away and dodging Clark, who right now is throwing a bit of a wild jab, or a wild series of them. He lost Jason, him dodging out of the way. He lost Tim, and then he lost Dick, Deku dodging again, telling him the only son he has left turned against him, Damien. And even then, Bruce, he thinks that Damien has an ill temper. Now, Clark, he does got dodged to the way, as Deku will go to throw a punch that almost struck him in the face, as the second punch does connect with Clark's face. Deku telling him, as he's going to pull away, he lost Wally. Wally was one of the first real friends he had. Deku dodging before going to punch with a right hook. Right now, Wally, he is being remembered for saving this world. And then a month later, his family died. He remembers how he felt. He remembers how he felt hearing about it. He remembers all of it. It doesn't still feel right to him. Deku going to throw out a left hook. He got to have friends. He got to have people around him. He got to love. Deku expressed in Clark, as he's going to throw out another right hook. He lost his entire team. Clark actually on the ground, panting a bit, as he does freeze hearing Deku say those words. Deku walking towards him, expressing to Cal. Cal needs to understand. They've all lost something, some more than others. But don't pretend like he can carry it all alone. Deku bringing his hand out to Clark. As right now Deku, he does look down at Kal-El. And Kal-El, he actually does look up towards Deku's hand, as he does actually have a bit of a bloody nose. Now, Deku does hold it out, and Kal, he does look up towards Deku, before he does go to try and stand on his feet on his own and bring his fist back up, telling him he's wrong. He can do it. He has to do it. Somebody needs to protect the world. And Deku tells him, some bodies are. Right now, Clark, he needs to remember, it's not someone, it's people who do it. One man protecting the world, he might get a few things done. But whenever people want to come together, do something, they will change much more. Their impact will inspire and improve people. That's what the Justice League was for. And Clark does stare at Deku, as he's going to turn and walk away, telling Clark, if he doesn't remember that, then this lesson didn't really seem like it was worth teaching. Now, Clark is a bit annoyed. Deku came here to debate with him, talk to him. This was his idea of talking to him? It just pissed him off more. I mean, Jesus Christ. This guy kicks his ass and tries to tell him all this? Now, right now it does anger Kal-El. He wants to get Deku back in here and try to talk to him again. And Deku, right now he does sit in the elevator, as Clark, he's pressing the button over and over. Him waiting for it to open and swing on Duvel. As Deku, he does have it in his mind. That ought to do it. Now Clark will try and come to him, to talk. Okay, but then again, leaving him royally pissed off like this? They're in Kandor. It'll be fine. You can't laser eye him. Or try and smear him in a red paste. Either way, it'll be okay. Then again, Diana. No, with her here, he can't try and use that on Clark. That lesson wouldn't stick. Besides, Clark, he does still think him and Kara are on his side. I mean, they are, aren't they? No. That's what Deku does currently debate. As Shana, he does go walking out of the elevator, as he does go to press a button. And right now the elevator would go up instead of down. As Clark Kent, he still does madly bash on the button. And whenever the door does go to open, he does get outside. No. Right now, Clark, he does look around Kandor, as he does sit there with boxing gloves on and some face injuries, still thinking about what happened. Now, Deku right now he does head back home, because right now he did his part. However, Kara needs to do her part now, that being where she just come walking up. Now, with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed, and have an amazing day. I'll catch you guys in the next part.